Hey guys, we are going to make architectural presentation concepts using Rhino. So in Rhino, we are going to use the top view to create a rectangle using the rectangle command. Then using the extrude curve command, we will extrude the rectangle that we just created. Now, right now, we can only see the wireframe in the perspective viewport. So we are going to set that to shaded so that we can see all the surfaces. Using the polyline tool in the top view, we shall draw a couple of polylines on the top of our extruded object. Selecting these polylines, we shall use the extrude curve command to extrude them. This is something that we will use later. Now, let's put that in layer 1. Now we shall make a copy of just the polylines and the box by holding Alt and dragging it to the side using the gumball. And we'll put it back in the default layer. We'll hide layer 1 for now and move the visible objects to where we can see them clearly. Using the wire cut tool in the solid tools panel, we are going to divide our box into several pieces. So let's select the cut-in curve first as indicated, which is our polyline, and then select the object to cut, which is our box here. Let's repeat that for our other polyline. We'll delete the polylines and move the pieces apart. Let's put these pieces in layer 2. Now let's play with our solids by turning on the points using solid point on command. This will show us the point for our solid and we can manipulate the shape as needed. So we have used the contour command to create flows within these pieces, and of course follow the prompts to get the contours, which are basically curves repeated for all the objects. We'll hide the objects for the time being and delete any unnecessary curves, and then we'll select all the curves and put them in a separate layer. We'll create planes within these curves by using planar surface command. back to our solid objects in layer 2, we are going to explode them by clicking the middle mouse button and clicking on the icon that indicates explosion. What we want to achieve here is to separate only some of the surfaces so that we can put them in another layer. We'll select the rest and join them again by clicking the middle mouse button and clicking on the puzzle icon. We will move the selected surfaces to another layer. Now let's just select all the layers and set the print color to black. Let's match. So we'll also assign materials to layers containing the visible objects to make a nicer looking render. Let's also match the material color with the layer color. We don't want those curves on the surface to be visible in our PDF. So we are going to turn off by selecting the objects, going to properties and unchecking show surface isocurves. We will also assign material and change the layer color of our floor plates to a shade of gray maybe. Now, these are the changes that we are making for the sake of presentation, of course. And again, for the sake of render, let's make some slight changes to our model using solid point on command, because we are not able to find a really good view or like a camera angle from here. Yeah, I think that looks better. Let's go back to our perspective viewport. Now it's time to print the files for Photoshop. Let's set an appropriate camera angle and turn on the layers we want in the PDF. Let's set the viewport style to rendered as well. We need to show a concept development. So now we can just turn on the appropriate layers. Now notice how different viewport styles will give you a different look. You can use this to your advantage and hit Ctrl P to print the file, print what you are seeing in the viewport to maybe a PDF. The technical viewport style gives us a nice dotted lines for the edges that are hidden and continuous lines for the visible edges, so you can try that as well. You can rather explore the print settings and see what suits the best for you. Now it's time to print the flow plates. Let's set the viewport to render, and we don't want the ground to be seen, so we can just go to the rendering tab and uncheck the ground plane there. You can see the difference between the vector and the rastered output in the print option, and see if that's what you want. Now, once we are done printing these objects, so to say, we are going to head to Photoshop and start composing. Here we can duplicate the layers into other open files and play with the layer styles until we achieve a desired output look for our concept. This is really just about what kind of look you'd like to achieve. Using pen and shape tools, we are going to add some graphics as well, just to display a little more information about our concept. And that's about it actually. So from here, the video will be sped up a bit. We hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any comments or suggestions, you can of course post them below, and hope to see you in the next video. Cheers guys.